Now greetings to the world.
Too sweet. Hi, welcome to JD Sports. I'm Derek Hood. That's the way Garfield. You can follow us on Twitter at the show's Twitter page, which is @_JD Sports. If you were listening on SoundCloud, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you as well. If you'd like to listen on SoundCloud, you can click on any of the links, or you can see all the graphics that are fancy things that might be coming up here, which I'm super excited about.
Definitely coming.
Shout out to the best producer in the game, my co-host Dwight.
I'm doing a little bit of look. We're mixing it up a little bit. You probably noticed with the intro, whether you're on SoundCloud or YouTube, it's a little slightly different. Trying to add a little bit more flavor, a little more quote-unquote professionalism or whatever. Trying to be a little more legit out here. That's what we're doing.
Since we've been gone, players have moved in the NFL and the NBA, all over other sports as well. GMs have also moved in a couple different sports.
Yeah.
2 Hall of Fame ceremonies have happened. Jay-Z released an album that I know every word to already.
That you already heard of at the beginning of this show.
2 players, not 2 players, 2 people in sports that I grew up fan of passed away. Tom Brady turned 40. Owner in the MLB sued some fans, season ticket holders at that.
What?
The best 50-game streak in the history of my lifetime for the MLB, which is, I know it's, but so the best 50-game streak since 1912 happened. Since we've been gone, a coach got an extension. Kaepernick is still not on an NFL team. A whole lot more to come. Dwight, that was just what happened in sports. How was your little break?
I was going to say, so some things change, some things just stay the same, huh?
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll definitely get there.
I mean, basically about the same as far as life goes. I mean, it's been a roller coaster, you know.
As always.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, apparently the good Lord above hates that he doesn't want us both to be single at the same time, basically, because now I'm single, now you're taken. Man, I mean, shout out to you for that.
Yeah.
I mean, and shout out to me for being single because I'm in a much better situation. Shout out to you because you're not watching. So, here we are. But I mean, it's been a roller coaster. You know, it's slowly looking like a come up right now. But you know,
we still find ways to have fun no matter how that goes down.
So what you been up to other than getting into relationships?
Putting my head down, working, you know how that goes. Waiting to come back to JD Sports because I got like a million hot takes. I think it was literally the next day after we stopped filming that Paul George got picked up, and we'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that.
He's a bum for that.
But I had hot takes literally from the next day, so
it was. I've
been ready.
Unlike last year, it was a little slow around this time last year, but this year it was just straight fire, and we could have went an extra week or 2, and people were like, "Oh, where's it been? Where's it been? What's it been?" But you gotta understand. I don't know about you, but for me, I need a break because eventually. We're just repeating topics at some point because things just slow up.
There was a slow period. Kaepernick was the big
slow up
story in the media for 2 straight weeks. Kyrie was the big story in the media for 2 straight weeks. So
things slow up.
Yeah.
But in general, I just need a break. So hate me. So and all y'all can hate me.
You know me.
This, man.
You know me. I'll watch sports 24/7 and talk about sports 24/7. But I am okay with taking a step away from it. I do enjoy our little time off. Plus, it kind of refreshes our little sharpens our tools.
Definitely.
Getting into it, speaking of sports.
Are we?
Usually, if I'm right on the show in the first 2 seasons, shout out to episode 1 of season 3. The first 2 seasons, if I'm right, I like to come on here and tell you I was right. Yeah,
I'm doing a thing for these SoundCloud people. The NBA 3-point thing.
Made it 3. So.
That's what they do now.
Usually if I'm right, I like to come on here, rub it in your face a little bit, say that I'm right. Usually if you're right, you like to come on here, rub it in my face and say that I'm right.
As we should.
And we like to think that we agree on pretty easy mutual topics. There is a topic that a lot of people disagreed on that we agreed on wholeheartedly, and it seems to be, at least as of this recording, there's a lot of proof to say that we might have been right all along. We were both reluctant to say that Colin Kaepernick was blackballed because there was other things, including, I will be the first person to tell you, he does not read much past his first read, okay? That is his probably biggest knock. That's been my biggest knock on him since he replaced Alex Smith. Outside of that, there's a lot of numbers to support the fact, and we went through it time and time again, and I'm sure we will again here in a second, of why we both think that he was maybe not necessarily a top 20 starter in the NFL, but we thought he could compete on the lower teams of being a starter and at least be a very viable backup, even on a team like the Seahawks.
Yeah, definitely. That was a good fit.
There's also there was the contract argument, which I'm sure I will get into because I would like to explain the 49ers contract situation when everyone says he walked away from $10 million. There's a lot more to that than he just walked away from $10 million. We can get into that. The latest story with Colin Kaepernick as of this recording was Ryan Tannehill got hurt in practice. The Baltimore Ravens were talking about looking at Colin Kaepernick, and then Tannehill goes down, so that kind of went on hold, and everyone thought the Miami Dolphins were going to be the team to get him. I would like to know your take on it because I think that you might be a little surprised with my take, but I do think that we have similar thoughts on. So I want to hear where you're going to go first.
I take as far as what the Ravens are concerned.
No. We'll get to the Ravens. Definitely I want to start with Jay Cutler being signed by the Miami Dolphins instead of Colin Kaepernick. If you find that to be an instead of Colin Kaepernick situation,
I found it to be a joke. I mean, you can see our graphic on Instagram. Shout out to us because we actually have an Instagram now. You can follow us on JD Sports Show. And I made a nifty little graphic that compares the stats of Jay Cutler from last year.
Shout out to the producer being like the best producer.
Yeah, I try. But I got Jay Cutler stats from last year, and I got Colin Kaepernick stats from last year. And I also have as much as they made both last year. And when you look at it, it's a joke. It's a mockery. It's everything that we've said. I mean, when you look at it from a strictly and a pure football perspective, Colin Kaepernick was clearly the better player last year, even though he played 7 more games, which is why I include that in the graphic as well, because I didn't want no BS from all people saying, well, he played more games. Of course his numbers are better. Okay, well, double Jay Cutler's numbers, and it still doesn't match up to what Colin did last year. You know how I feel about Jay Cutler.
With a better wide receiver in Alshon Jeffrey than Torrey Smith, probably is the number one in San Francisco.
Yeah.
You know a better running back.
Yeah, definitely. Miami has a much better team. That's not even a question.
I think the better system was with the Niners.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know how I feel about Jay Cutler. I think he's garbage. I don't think he's any good. So the fact that he got a gig when he was quote-unquote retired and he was going into broadcasting, and then when these people, that's what I'm annoyed with more than anything at this point, which is why I made the graphic that I did. It's on our Instagram. I'm more so annoyed with the excuses that are being made about why Colin doesn't have a job than anything. But then when you throw those quote-unquote excuses for Colin doesn't have a job to Jay Cutler now having a job, it's like, okay, well, what's left? It's everything that you and I have been saying, which is the fact that he did this protest and people don't like it, and he's being blackballed, which is what we've been calling. But instead, these other people want to make football excuses. But when you look at the football perspective, Colin Kaepernick's a better player, and he's like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And the signing doesn't make any sense to me. I understand the whole, Colin wearing a Castro thing in Miami, and maybe it wouldn't have worked, but
well, let me.
I'm just more so looking at these teams that they're not working Colin out for football.
All right.
They're bringing Colin in and just picking his brain instead of playing him for. They're not trying him out for a football perspective.
I want to look at it this way.
It's dumb.
I don't ignore the politics side of it when it comes to him in other places. So I'm not going to ignore the Castro thing in Miami. It is a 30+% thing, and it would be hard to convince their fans. Hold on, I'm not saying that's the reason to not do it because
and I get it.
I am against the whole hard to convince your fans thing. I don't care what team you are. You shouldn't you didn't have to convince your fans. The Cowboys didn't have to convince their fans with Greg Hardy, or the Ravens didn't have to try to convince their fans with Ray Rice. So I get
the Castro thing, but that's not the reason they went with.
And I don't disagree with that. But the other side of it is the perfect storm of that, and Jay Cutler's best season with the Bears was with Adam Gates, and he knows the language walking in tomorrow. That's to me. Look, I feel like Colin Kaepernick should be on an NFL team. I do think that, and I want to get into the Ravens thing because I actually do. That's a franchise I like, and I would like to call them out on a couple things. But one, back to Miami, I actually don't dislike what they did with the Cutler thing. You know me, I've been more of a Cutler supporter than you along the way the entire time. So
definitely.
That has part of probably what to do with it. I think Kaepernick and Cutler are both good enough quarterbacks to be, like I said, from the 20 to 30 range in the 32 starting quarterbacks. I think they both would fall probably from 20 to 30. But I think that is better than a lot of quarterbacks that are suit up on NFL Sundays right now.
On paper, they can both make a roster if they want it.
So that's my point.
Point is, Jay Cutler just got one just because he said, I'm in.
But Cap can't. on top of that, but my thing is
What?
but the language, he knows the language walking in right away. Where Kaepernick, you have to learn a whole new language. The team would have to learn a new offense trying to run around Kaepernick. My thing is, Cutler steps in and he ran this exact system.
Yep,
I would be okay with. This isn't a situation where I think that if Cutler would have said no, I don't want to come out, that Kaepernick was, if he wasn't the next man in line, that's where I would have had, that's where the buck would have stopped for me. Cutler in this situation was the thought, like I honestly thought that was their best option over Kaepernick, even though I think that Kaepernick last year, you're right, had a better year. I just think that Cutler, by knowing the system and language and not having to change the offense up, you're taking less of a chance. But the thing is you're still paying him $10 million, where I don't know how much Kaepernick wants. But
he made $11 million last year.
Do you think Kaepernick could get $10 million anywhere? That's the thing, is I think Kaepernick might have been a cheaper option. I don't think that really, honestly, here's my other thing. I don't think money really matters to any of these NFL teams when they're looking for a quarterback.
But everybody's saying it's about money.
Look.
Wait. Well, you say
the
people are wrong.
The contract thing with the 49ers, so what they did in the middle of the year last year is, remember when he flipped his contract? Do you remember when he had a okay, so in the middle of the year last year, he had a contract negotiation where on the back end he was going to get paid $28 million, and last season he was going to get paid $10 million. So what he did was, instead, including his signing bonus, the front end he got paid the $28 million, and in the back end it was a player option out for him to only make $10 million. And the only way it wouldn't hurt the Niners on the cap is if he opted out. So basically, it was them coming to him saying, if you opt out at the end of this year, we will give you your guaranteed money that you were supposed to get at the end of the year, instead of you getting this $10 million. You drop the $10 million, we drop the $10 million, you get your $28 million, you opt out, and then we can bring a new GM in, who we need to bring a new coach and quarterback in, so it washes everyone's hands of it clean. The 49ers, he did not walk away from $10 million. The 49ers and him came to a mutual agreement that it would make sense for the both of them to walk away from $10 million each, and it worked out. He made his $28 million that he was supposed to be guaranteed to make. They got to get their new GM without having to deal with a quarterback from an old regime, and he gets to handpick the whole entire team. I mean, that's what franchises like to do. I'm not saying that if he didn't do this, that they wouldn't have maybe, if he didn't take a knee, that they wouldn't have maybe tried to keep him around for 1 year just to bridge something. I'm not disagreeing with that. Maybe their part of it was because of what he did, but it just made sense for both sides for them to do what they did contract-wise. So the whole him walking away from $10 million was a bad argument in the first place. Anyways, the Ravens part of it I want to call out. Their owner, Steve Bisciotti, who I think is a good owner, their entire franchise.
He's a joke right now.
He's
a joke on this subject.
He came out
he's a joke.
The day after the NFL tried to suspend Ray Rice for this. Initially, the Ray Rice got suspended for 2 games when there was no video. When the video got released, the NFL tried to,
it's something good too.
Unjustly, maybe you could say, suspend Ray Rice for
That'll
2 more
games. For later on so
what they tried to do was give him 4 games instead of 2, which you know, in the court system of America, you can't go back and try somebody for the same thing twice, and give him or
depending on what state you're in,
more evidence, more time. So basically, well, in the NFL, you definitely can't do that, considering there is a players' union. The owner of the Ravens sat next to Ray Rice the day after the NFL tried to give him a 4-game suspension, and he said, "We support him. We are here for him." Blah 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 blah. Next thing you know,
cool.
He came up on training camp, had press conference, talked about the Ray Rice situation, and ended with, "Pray for us during this situation."
I'm sorry, did he beat his wife?
Well, they make this.
Did he
decision.
beat a girl? Did he kill, wait, did he kidnap somebody? Did he kill anybody? Was he allegedly a part of a killing?
He non-violently protested the way.
Did he rob somebody?
He non-violently protested.
Oh, you mean that thing that you're legally allowed to do in America because you're an American, and this is what these soldiers fight for?
Just be aware of your surroundings. If you're an owner of an NFL team and this is all going on...
and by the way, when he did his protest, when he kneeled, he was surrounded by soldiers, and when he had a conversation with soldiers, and soldiers said, just kneel instead of not doing anything.
I have roughly five people in my life that I am fairly close with that are in the military. One of them watches our show a lot. Shout out to Sharice Hill.
Definitely, absolutely. Shout out to you. Thank you for serving.
All of them have the same opinion when I talk to them about this.
Nobody talks about this? But
why?
Then
I ask them all because I want to know.
Yeah, and I hear you, but why?
They're not offended. Everyone tells me the military is offended. None of them are offended.
Okay,
none of the 5 I know are offended. Now they all come from a younger generation. They are all between 32 and 21. So I'm not sitting here to say they're all. The older ones might be offended, but the ones that I know. are saying that they fought for this. They would rather him do it
Right.
a different way. But what kind of protest is, I always rebuttal to them, and not just to, because I feel what they're saying, and I will always stand for the flag. I'm not, this is just how I would look at it, because I'm an open-minded person. What kind of protest isn't brought to with, I wish they did it in a different way?
Right.
What I've never heard a protest not brought back with, I wish they did it in a different. I wish he did it in a different way. But guess what? Every protest is I brought back with that. So at the end of the day, we're a year later. We're still talking about it. The bigger issue is still going on, and what he was originally kneeled for. He did do what everyone told him he wasn't going to do.
Soldiers
in the process.
told him to do.
Not just him, but
to take a knee.
Yeah, to keep his stance. To keep his stance.
He took the advice of soldiers, which is what nobody's talking
Whether
about.
they disliked it or not, they understood why he was doing it.
Right. Right. And that's the bigger picture. Like you said, so many soldiers that are saying they're
and again,
cool
it's a
with
small sample size. I know five.
Right.
I know five, but
I'm saying not even just from what you or I know. I'm saying mostly from what I hear, even from outside sources. Most soldiers are like, I mean, I don't agree with it, but it's his right, and I respect that. It seems to be people that are not even in damn service, which you and I aren't.
No.
And again, shout out to those that are, but those that aren't in the service seem to be more offended than those that are actually in the damn thing.
But my bigger issue is, why are owners, like him saying pray for us, or why are people?
That's extreme. That's why I said he's a POS
Why are
for
fans
that.
still fight? Why are fans still fighting the notion that it's a football thing when? Why are they more offended by that than when they were about what Adrian Peterson did, or maybe what Zeke Elliott might have done? We'll get into that. Or Greg Hardy, or Ray Rice, Mike Vick,
Ray Lewis.
Look, again, I am a second chance person, and I don't think Colin Kaepernick has to fall in the second chance thing. That's what I always confuse this with. Like that's where I'm confusing this whole thing with.
It's becoming a second chance.
I'm okay with the rest.
I'm
okay with the rest of them getting second chances, but like I am a second chance person as long as you can redeem yourself. Colin Kaepernick doesn't have to redeem himself to anything. He did nothing
shouldn't
wrong.
be a second
he did
chance, but the league in America's making it a second
and
chance.
to the protest of people saying where if we did this at our job, it would be our company's rights to not employ us as well. Here's my biggest thing. Here's my biggest thing. We don't have the voice that they do. We do not have. We are not seen in the same light that they are. The reason that they this ant, hey, you be a small ant thing and work only works in plants and factories. We see these people's faces. We see these people are on our broadcast. Millions of people watch this. They have a different duty in their mind that they have to stand up for. Before the ESPYs a couple years ago, did not LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, and a couple other people, Dwayne Wade from the boat, from the banana boat thing, didn't they all get up and didn't they do a...
I loved it.
Not just for Black Lives Matter, they did it for not all lives matter, but they did a little human race thing.
Yeah.
Everyone be one type thing. Stop
police
violence on all.
I loved it, and people still shit on it.
And my thing is like that was less protested than this, and I'm kind of like,
and people were angry about that.
Right, and they were, and I get that you want to separate your politics and sports, but Ali, Jim Brown,
Don't you dare mention Ali and Colin Kaepernick.
But they are
I've
one
seen
and the
that
same.
comment.
No, that's in years from now. People are going to mention them in the same
I'm
light.
just saying because Ali
Jackie
was great.
Robinson.
Ali was great. Kaepernick isn't. I've seen that argument.
There's obviously a trend going on here, but
at the end of the day, bottom line, shout out to Kaepernick for what he did. He did what he felt was right, fighting for injustice.
I would like to see him get signed to the Ravens. I think it would work really well. His old offensive coordinator is there. His old coach's brother is there. I want him to get signed as well.
If he goes to the Ravens. Go somewhere.
But he would work with the Ravens. That's my thing. And the whole one last argument that I can't stand. He needs to do the same system. Did Mike Vick not just back up Ben Roethlisberger for an entire year? What system do they run that is the same?
He needs to do the same system. This is why I'm saying
and by the
he
way,
should have went to Miami.
By the way, didn't Colin Kaepernick play under Harbaugh, who runs a completely different system than Chip Kelly? And didn't he go to a Super Bowl in one and then have his best year as a quarterback in the other?
I'm just saying.
They're two completely different systems.
I don't think Kaepernick stuck around with Chip Kelly. I think he left too. So anyway, at the end of the day,
Mike Vick said he needed to cut his hair.
They told you so. No.
Ray
That
Lewis.
was dumb. I'm glad he came out and apologized because that was stupid. It was dumb. I got what he was saying. I think Kaepernick took it a little too offensive.
Oh, I agree with that.
But whereas I understood what Vic was trying to say, cut your hair because it's presenting an image. It's also ridiculous.
If we walked into a job interview, would it not make sense for us to just cut our hair?
Right. You don't want to walk in with a big old afro sticking out regardless of where you're going. So I understood what Mike Vick was saying.
Yes, I don't disagree.
it's how he said it. I think Kaepernick went too extreme about it. You know, it is what it is. I didn't think it was that serious.
The Ray Lewis comments.
What did Ray Lewis say?
He basically said that. He kind of basically said that. Stay in your lane.
Well, I mean,
if you're gonna make noise,
when Ray Lewis was going,
there's backlash. But at the same time, didn't the Ravens kind of support him when there was noise going on?
Yes.
He also had the talent to drag them to a Super Bowl the next year.
Right, and he's definitely a much better player than Colin Kaepernick.
No disagreeing. Hall of Fame, probably the best middle linebacker of all time.
When Ray Lewis
at least in my lifetime.
When Ray Lewis went through his allegations, did he not, after the fact, get rid of his dreads?
Yes. I don't disagree.
So I don't think Mike Vick was wrong then. Just saying.
Speaking of somebody that might actually be in trouble, which honestly, and I cannot stand the Dallas Cowboys. I hope this is not. I hope he's not in any trouble. Ezekiel Elliott is the center of a lot of news going on. There's people saying he destroyed some evidence. There's also people saying that. Here's what I don't understand. Why is the NFL a year after the police dropped something still going after him? And I'm not saying that, they're just looking for stuff, but did he really get into a fight with a DJ? That's starting to get a little questionable too. But it was reported that he got into a fight with a DJ. I don't know. Low key, is Dak Prescott a little more scary off the field? There's a lot of videos of him surfacing, and getting in fights while he's drunk.
I've seen zero video.
There's a video of him getting a fight when he's drunk in Jamaica, and there's also a rumor going around that he was caught up in a thing like Eli, where he wasn't actually signing autographs, but he was selling footballs and getting money for it. I don't know. Again,
this is news to me.
All allegations and everything I just stated from Ezekiel to him is all allegations. But I'm a little more scared on the Dak Prescott thing because he seems like he had his stuff together.
I'm not even gonna comment on the Dak thing.
Zeke Elliott, though,
I have yet to hear of anything about that. But okay.
Low key,
Zeke,
might get suspended for a game if he actually destroyed evidence. Do you think he destroyed evidence?
I don't know, but the thing I don't.
No, we both were on the same page. It's weird though, right? This whole story is getting weird.
The thing about Zeke is the same thing what we've said from the gate, which is he just needs to stop putting himself in situations, regardless if he does anything wrong or not. He needs to stop being in situations. The bar fight, which just been zero evidence, there's been zero testimony, there's been nothing, there's been no witnesses saying he clearly did this. It's nothing but hearsay, but zero evidence. I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he didn't do it. But what I'm saying is the same thing we said from the jump, which is he needs to stop being in situations because he is a figure. He's a figurehead. He's a name, and he plays for the Dallas Cowboys, which just magnifies it. But until actual evidence surfaces in any of his cases, you can't help but just take his side because there's no evidence against him.
I got
Zero.
an idea.
There's nothing but hearsay, which I agree as a Cowboys fan. It's worrisome, and as you know, I'm a fan of Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin's even saying, come on, man, stop putting yourself in these situations, which I agree. But until there's actual concrete evidence, there's no reason to get on this guy. And the NFL needs to stop acting like they're the FBI when the FBI says, you know what, there's no case. That's ridiculous. It's been a year and some change, and that's bullshit.
Yeah, it's coming up on a year. I think it was September last year.
Why in the hell is Zeke still up for a possible suspension on some shit that the FBI and the police or whoever
investigators in
they're saying there's nothing.
So I have an idea. Not on that because I can't give you an answer.
That's the NFL trying to clean up their image.
I have an idea to help him though.
What's that? Stay at home?
You remember how Des Bryant signed off on Jerry Jones letting a person follow him around everywhere he went?
Yes.
Why don't we do that for Zeke for 12 months?
I'm good with that.
12 months.
I'm good with that.
12 months, Zeke.
You haven't heard about Des since, have you?
My man has learned from that process. Look,
and it was the same thing with Des. Des just, his name was out there. Whether or not he did something or not was up in the air, but
you all know me. I'm a huge Eagles fan.
His name just disappeared off of that list, and
if they're going to suspend
Zeke
him,
needs right now. He needs to get off that list.
If they're going to suspend him, I need them to do it somewhere right around mid-November.
This guy, he's got jokes. LOL. I need the NFL to stop.
I want to say November 16th against the Eagles.
He wouldn't know the exact date, but
But then again, Jalen Smith's brother might run all over us. We'll talk about that in a second as well. Actually, we'll talk about that next show.
I just need the NFL to just...
I don't disagree.
Stop policing people. When the police say there's nothing, then relax.
So...
But I also need Zeke to, just moonwalk a little bit. Back out.
There's some... weird moves going on. Two teams fired their GMs at weird times. The Redskins fired their GM 2 days before the draft because they claimed he was an alcoholic. But he was the best thing that they've gotten as a GM in a very, very long time. That's been evident by all of his draft picks. And then the Panthers, somewhere right at the middle of July, towards the end of July, fire their GM out of the blue. Now, I would argue that the best time to fire your GM would probably be right before the season starts because you're not going to pick anybody up in free agency. You're going to want your coaching staff's going to probably make most of the cuts in the first place. Your GM's going to be part of that, but your coaching staff's going to have the better insight anyways if you trust the next guy coming in. And he can start scouting and developing for what you need for your team's need from now till the next year's draft. So I would argue that for the GM position, it's actually not bad what the Panthers did. You don't really want to fire your GM 2 days before the draft like the Redskins did. No, that's usually a really bad strategy.
Redskins move. That's a Redskins move. That's not the NFC East talking here. That's us saying that's a Redskin move. That's a Dan Snyder thing.
I know you didn't get to catch out the Hall of Fame speeches yet, but Jason Taylor said that he stole money from Dan Snyder, and it was one of the greatest moments.
I heard about that quote, and I was about to say myself.
And then he said that he said that it's okay to laugh about it because at Jerry Jones' party night before where Dan Snyder was at, and he goes, yes, I know the Redskins owner was at the Dallas Cowboys Hall of Fame party. He was like, I find that weird too, but I was joking around with him to his face about how I stole all that money from him. And that just set the whole room off.
Shout out to Jason Taylor.
So
I did hear that quote.
Redskins,
that's funny. That's Dan Snyder, dude.
He was also the best GM they had. I don't know if he's an alcoholic or not. I'm not involved in their everyday actions. Their GM that they hired.
I don't judge his life.
We're gonna go away from the Redskins thing because it's not relevant.
I'm gonna go away from the alcoholic thing.
They're talking about Terrell Pryor being the best wide receiver they have in camp, so that's the Redskins right now. He did have over 1,000 yards with the Browns last year, so that's a big deal. Anyways, so the Panthers fired their GM. Look, Cam finally has two running backs that aren't him or Mike Tolbert or Jonathan Stewart, and Jonathan Stewart's still there. So they have three running backs, plus they have Cam that's going to be able to run less. He'll be able to dump it off underneath a little bit more, which the team would like him to do a lot more. He'll run a little less. That would be a good thing.
I'm sorry. I'm only laughing because of the argument that I saw at one point. And you know what I'm talking about the whole dinking and slanting routes thing. For those who don't know, I mean, on our social media accounts, we were talking about Colin Kaepernick, of course, and we were talking about the accuracy of him, and somebody, I hope you're watching, shout out to you, we're saying, well, I hope I only have so many interceptions in the season, too, because all he did was dink and dive. All he did was throw slants. I could do that. I just thought it was funny.
But that's where the NFL, that's how the NFL works.
That's not what Dak Prescott did last year, and was, 14 whatever, 2? Last year, I guess we
Tom Brady won a Super Bowl off of doing it.
And that's what the Panthers head coach wants Cam Newton to do.
It's cut by it's death by 1,000 cuts is what the NFL would like you to do. They'd like you to fall asleep and then throw it to over the top. That's what everyone does in the NFL, and that was Chip Kelly's base offense, and that's what Colin Kaepernick played in last year. Chip Kelly was. He is the next step of what everyone's running right now, right? He just runs a very faster version, a little more plays and more pass version of what most offenses are running at the moment. So you're going to get a lot more checkdowns in his offense just because of the amount of times you're back there than you are in any other offense.
I think you brought this point. You don't see people throwing 20 yards anymore. Like, for real, you don't see Dante Culpepper just throwing 30, 40 yards
Tom
down
Brady's
the field anymore.
top 40 passes,
see that, really.
top longest 40 passes starts at 53. I mean, he gets to a 99-yard pass, but like you're talking about over a 20-year career, a 19-year career, he's literally, under 40 times thrown it 53 yards or more. Completed?
That's crazy. Yeah, right. Seriously.
That's in 70-plus games, so that's literally almost in roughly half the games he's only throwing it over 50 yards once. That's the stat in and of itself, but that's the NFL since 2001. That's since he's been playing.
Yeah, and honestly, off the top of my head, the only person that I can think of that throws deep, relatively consistently, is Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, Joe Flacco.
He throws a lot of Hail Marys.
Joe Flacco.
I was going to say.
Big Ben throws it down.
He'd be second.
Big Ben throws it down the field, but he has Antonio Brown, and also Matt Ryan throws it down the field. But again, he has Julio Jones.
To a lesser extent, but I would definitely say Aaron Rodgers.
Well, Aaron Rodgers throws a lot downfield because, and he also puts it into windows that other people don't put in windows. But again, Tom Brady still, most of his throws are down the center of the field, less than 15 yards.
which apparently is wrong according to some, but that's the way the league's going, dude. I don't fault it. I don't fault the Panthers for wanting to go in that direction. I understand Cam's perspective. He's saying, let's just go with what has gotten me here, which I understand.
Speaking of Cam,
I do think it's a cop-out, though. Can I just say, I think it's a cop-out that the head coach said, oh, I want you to chuck it, you know.
I don't like Ron Rivera anyway, so it's fine.
My reaction was, why didn't you just get him offensive line, bro?
I agree. Last year they were abysmal. Do you think
Why, to Cam's point, why take away his...
Yes, I agree. His best weapon.
His threats.
Part of his best weapons.
Just go get him a line. They didn't get him a line.
Do you think they take a step in the right direction this year? Because everyone's been asking me. Everyone's telling me about Cam.
Okay.
I don't think it's a Cam problem. I think it's a Panther problem.
No, it is a Panther problem. Right now, it's a Panther problem.
But people blame everything on the quarterback, so obviously Cam's going to be the first. He's going to take the first bullets.
I can't do that this year. Last year, I can say, haha, it was Cam. I can. But this year, I won't because they didn't give him any help.
No. I mean, I like his running backs, but you're right. The line did not get better, and their defense doesn't seem much better.
No, not at all.
And they were abysmal last year.
His receivers are even worse.
Calvin Benjamin. I think that's it. I don't disagree.
They're not going to be a Super Bowl contender like they were 2 years ago. Would they be worse than last year? No. They'll just be a middle-of-the-pack team, as far as I'm concerned. And it'll be because of him. Because eventually Riviera's going to be like, you know what, just run, Cam. Get that 7.
You're going to have to.
Get that 6 for me.
That's what took them to a Super Bowl.
Give me that 6, Cam. That's what's going to happen. And in that poop division, they might just win it.
Speaking of, you have the Super Bowl hangover, so you know the Falcons might not do as well. I think that the Tampa Bay Bucks are a wild card. We'll get to that division when we get there. And the Saints, I mean, meh.
Right. We'll get there. We'll get their NFL preview in a couple weeks, folks.
Mike Tomlin got an extension. Shout out to him.
Did he really?
I think it's 53 wins in his career. Like he's had a great career so far with the Steelers.
Where's he at? Oh, Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. Skirt. Shout out to me because I thought you said somebody else. Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Mike Tomlin. Shout out to
53 wins. He has a lot of wins. I know that.
Shout out to Steelers fans that said we should just get rid of him, and the Steelers said we're going to be this Pittsburgh Steelers saying
it's wild.
He's going to be our coach forever.
At least 2020, if I'm not mistaken.
He should be. He's a solid coach. He's a great coach. He just needs.
They got to figure out the Le'Veon Bell situation as a team.
Yeah, definitely. They need some more. Pittsburgh's situation isn't a coach. It's more so they need more pieces within that system.
Yeah.
He's a solid coach. You don't get rid of Mike Thomas. Shout out to him. He deserves it.
Yeah, I agree.
Super Bowl winner. Solid. They're always respectable. They're always within the top 2 of their division.
During the show prep, you had something written down about Ben Roethlisberger. Would you like to elaborate?
You mean Mr. I'm retired, I'm not retired, I'm retired, I'm not retired, I'm going to retire at the end of this coming season?
Brett Favre?
I'm just saying.
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre? Favre?
Does that mean Ben's going to go to the Ravens? Because didn't Brett Favre go to a rival?
Hilarious.
Oh, no, wait, no. Ben's got to go to an NFC team
Cincinnati.
first. He's got to go to an NFC team first. So he'll go to... he'll go to the Giants since Favre went to the Jets. He'll replace Eli. And then he'll come back, and that's when he'll play for the Ravens, when he comes back. Or the Browns. Aren't they technically a rival of the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Maybe they'll go to Cincinnati. Aaron who?
Andy Dalton?
I said Aaron.
What's the difference?
That's the joke. No, but shout out to Big Ben. It's a running joke with him at this point. I'm going to retire. I'm not going to retire. I'm going to retire. I'm not going to retire. Now he's saying, as of today, this is going to be my final year. Regardless, he's had a great career. He has a solid career, but don't go to Brett Favre route. Please do not do this. Don't do it. Because you just become a joke.
I've always gone back and forth with Big Ben.
And Jay Cutler did the same thing. I heard him saying, well,
yeah,
I actually spent some time with my family this offseason. It was nice, but then I took a job. Don't do that. It's just ridiculous. I don't need every year Big Ben. I don't need that Brett Favre 2.0.
Ben's somebody who I always felt like got off the hook for his issues off the field.
Facts.
And so I've always been somebody who, because if we're going to hold everyone else to that light, which we do,
we do.
I always try to hold
JD
him
Sports
to that
does.
light as well. And it's always made it hard for me to appreciate his value. I mean, he's a good football player. I'm not ever going to take that away from him. He wins a lot of football games. He's a solid player, and
he's a great quarterback.
He was somebody who I truly thought was relying on defenses for a long time, and then ends up he made the play of the Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl on the last play of the game on an incredible throw, and ever since then he's really been super consistent year in year out, always in the playoffs.
He's a great quarterback.
If not winning the division in the wild card,
always a threat.
I think that Le'Veon Bell and AB have drugged him to this point, which is a good thing. I mean, you need to start doing that in the later part of your careers.
Yeah. He's a great quarterback.
Yes.
Bottom line. And he's going to continue to be. And
he's
going to
easily
continue to be
a first-ballot Hall of Famer, youngest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl. He won his first 17 games or 16 games.
I get it. I don't know if he's the first ballot. He's a Hall of Famer. I'll give you Hall of Famer.
Yeah, all right. Well,
TL's the first ballot.
I don't disagree with that. But again, the off-the-field issues were always never. And that's what always goes. So, and you know what? Honestly, though, you were talking about Brett Favre, another quarterback I was never a big fan of.
Really, I was.
I liked watching him play football.
I hated towards the end when he turned into what he did, which was I'm here, I'm not here, I'm here, I'm not here. But I enjoyed him as a football player.
I don't know why. I just never liked him.
And most people, it's yes or no with him.
Right? No, I agree.
I was yes with him.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot. I like watching his highlights. He had impressive moments without question.
Yes.
I just honestly, I think that he never was held accountable for all his interceptions, and my man threw way more interceptions than anybody.
It's a good thing we didn't have a show back in the day.
Right, because we would have been calling him out left and right.
Oh my God.
And you talk about people get on Aaron Rodgers. People get on every quarterback for what they do. And Brett Favre consistently led the league in interceptions.
Right.
That was I don't know, but he was an incredible quarterback. Don't get me wrong. Different story for a different day.
Yeah.
Speaking of great quarterbacks, moving on. Tom Brady turned 40.
Hey, shout out to him. Happy birthday, bro.
The fact that he was voted the best player in the league, if I'm not mistaken by the player, right? He was the number one overall player.
This year?
I'm pretty sure.
Damn.
I think. I'm not. I could be wrong.
What's that say about the rest of the league?
But my point is even he was voted as the number one quarterback, if I'm not mistaken. Him or Aaron Rodgers.
Easy.
My thing here is,
I'll give him one or two.
He's 40 years old in a young man's game.
Remember, some years back when it was you're 32.
It was when he was 36. He said he wanted to play till he was 40, and we laughed.
I remember years ago.
We laughed.
Well, yeah. Years ago, though, this was literally within this past decade.
Yeah.
People were saying, he's 31. He's not just Brady. I'm saying in general, quarterbacks.
Yes.
Or players in the NFL in general.
Yeah.
Oh, he's 31. He's 32. He's past his prime. And I was always of the perspective that if you can play, who the hell cares? Keep going. And Tom Brady is now the epitome of this.
Dude.
If you can still play, especially you're still playing on Tom Brady level and you're 40 years old.
The running
Keep
joke.
Going.
The running joke in Philadelphia was they never kept a running back that was 30 or older.
Why?
Because
they were garbage.
I don't know.
Would you not want Adrian Peterson today?
And that's the thing is that's what they were. It was weird, but so. Tom Brady.
If you can go, you can go.
Is 40. Playing the hardest position in the NFL. The second hardest position in all of sports for my money, in all of team sports for my money. I think it goes goalie and then quarterback. Mm-hmm. Well, goalie, cornerback, quarterback.
I'll give you top two. Interchangeable. No, I agree. Shout out to Tom Brady. And he's going to keep doing it.
Best to ever play football for my money. Best quarterback at least.
I will never argue until, like I said before, until he proves us otherwise. You go with him. I don't care if he's 48. Until proven otherwise.
Quick Tom Brady story that I heard on his birthday. He was on a flight home with Julian Edelman. They were playing chess, playing for money. Julian Edelman was up $200 on Tom Brady.
That's it. They only bet $200.
Well, they were betting a lot more money. But they were going back. They were betting
you and me, Bunny.
Probably like $40 or $50 a game, I assume. I don't know. But he was up to $200. He was over $200 on Tom Brady.
30 games.
I don't know. Tom Brady went back up $300 on him. It's a $500 swing. And then when Julian Edelman went to pay him back in the locker room the next day, Tom Brady didn't take his money and just laughed at him for a week straight. That is the essential Tom Brady story. My man can chug a beer faster than either of us, apparently.
He laughed because that money was a joke.
Well, yeah, probably.
Number one.
But just the fact that Tom Brady just takes more joy in beating anyone than anything else is that's the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant,
that
Tom
Mamba
Brady mentality.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shout out to all the Hall of Famers.
Absolutely. A lot of greats. A lot of people I love. A lot of players I loved. LT.
Huge fan of Jason Taylor. I thought he was super underrated for our generation.
I was a big
LT,
fan. I was a
who
huge fan.
obviously we're
Yes.
we're both LT fans.
Yes. Excuse me?
Morton Anderson?
It's funny. Shout out to the SoundCloud people because they have no idea what's going on right now.
I mean, like,
I'm just waiting for something right now.
25 years in the NFL, Morton Anderson.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
such an
yeah.
impressive
That's
career.
what's up, yeah.
Only three teams most points in NFL history.
Shout out to him.
Second longest kick in the NFL, 60-yarder.
Mm-hmm. Somebody else on that list.
Somebody else was on the list.
The freshest man on stage with his matching shoes that he crest his shit out of, but we ain't gonna talk about that because he was matching.
Oh, Kurt Warner.
I love
that.
Kurt
Is the
Warner.
best
I love
story
Kurt
in
Warner.
the history of the NFL.
Yes. You know what?
He was grocery.
I'll
he was
give you that pass.
grocery shopping.
I'll give you that pass.
No, he was the story of a grocery store. He was
I'll
the
give you
manager
a
of a
pass
grocery store.
because I love Kurt Warner, but there's somebody else.
The cornerback from Seattle from the '80s. I can't think of his name, and I apologize to him.
He's such a bitch right now.
So
shout out to Jerry Jones, goddammit.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot.
How about those Cowboys? You forgot
that participation Hall of Fame part that they gave.
You're such a jabroni.
No, all right. So Jerry Jones.
Shout out to your dad too, because I saw his fucking tweet too.
He thought it was
his
funny.
status still.
So no, shout out to Jerry Jones, who honestly I think deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for what he did for the Shield. Even though I'm not a fan of the Shield or what they represent.
For what he did for the NFL, absolutely. For what he did for the Dallas Cowboys.
His football side of it isn't all that great, but he did hire he did hire Johnson. So. Jimmy Johnson.
I did see.
Which is the biggest part of Cowboys history. And then
shout out to
he
Jerry.
turned them around and they won 3 Super Bowls.
Shout out to Jerry for actually acknowledging Jimmy Johnson. Jesus God.
Yeah, I agree.
But.
No, it was his weekend. I'm not against it.
Please tell me you saw those matching shoes.
Yeah, I saw it.
Tell me he was not the freshest. Tell me he was.
Of course, he's Jerry Jones. He's always the freshest man in the room. That's why his wife kissed the bust.
Is your owner in the Hall of Fame?
No, Jeffrey Lurie should not be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh. Other than the Patriots owner, who should be in the Hall of Fame? Nobody? Oh.
Al Davis.
Isn't he already?
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. Who else?
Oh.
That's probably it for the owner-wise.
Shout out to Jerry Jones. Shout out to all the Hall of Famers. A lot of fan favorites out here.
The guy who owned the Bengals. Why am I drawing a blank on his name now? Oh, he's in the Hall of Fame already. He started the Bengals. Anyways.
Shout out to him.
It'll come back to me one day. So
shout out to the Roonies.
I want to start doing the Rooney. He should definitely be in the Hall of Fame. Obviously,
he
should be. But I mean, he's probably one of the best owners of all time.
He's probably in if he's not in.
Yeah. But anyways,
my point. Other than the Patriots owner.
So I want to kind of set this up more like a show over this time to wait, and I have a feel-good story for us. I have one. It was quick, really fast. You know, Eric Berry, the safety from the Kansas City Chiefs, who recently, just 2 years ago, missed the whole season due to the cancer thing. Came back last year, had a Pro Bowl season.
Yeah.
Very good safety.
Yeah.
My feel-good story is after practice.
Wait, we actually have positive news outside Joe Jones being in the Hall of Fame?
After training camp, after every practice, he's walking off the field, and there's a great video recently that surfaced of he was signing autographs. Ton of people, just hundreds of people, and I'm sure many players do this, but shout out to him. You could hear the security person, the PR person, whoever from the Kansas City Chiefs walk up to him and say, you're good on signing autographs, you don't have to sign anymore. And he waved the guy off, and he literally stood there for another hour and signed the rest of the autographs, which I thought was one of the coolest things because these players, J.J. Watt pulled a kid onto the field. They plays foursquare before the defensive line plays foursquare before every practice. He pulled a kid onto the field because the kid made a sign said, "My family drove from Delaware just for us to come watch you play foursquare." He played foursquare with the kid
just to watch me play.
Well, yeah, that was a sign, but then they watched the whole practice. Obviously, he actually eliminated one.
That's a drive. I mean, that's dedication. You coming from Delaware to
Texas, wherever in Texas they are. Yeah, it's a drive.
I'm not driving to Philly, and I'm in Harrisburg, PA. Are you kidding me?
he eliminated one of the defensive players right when he got in the game. So like cool things like that NFL players are doing. I wanted to shout out to all of them that are doing that, not just those two. But this is the fun part for me of the NFL season because when it comes to the season, these players should be locked in. This is their jobs; they're getting paid a lot of money to do it, and we care about them winning or losing. But right now, this is where it doesn't matter when they're winning or losing. A guy like Eric Berry, a guy like J.J. Watt, who they know their positions are locked in for their teams. I like that they are acknowledging how the fans they have, and they really appreciate it, and they're showing that they appreciate it. So shout out to them. That's my feel good story. I just because we do a lot of negative stuff. The Kaepernick stuff turns into a negative thing. We don't try to do a lot of negative stuff, but I just
it negative takes over the news. But we're gonna try to do something positive
even if it's not
every
just
week.
that, just something every week that we want to add into this. So that was my positive part of this.
Definitely. Shout out to JJ.
Nigga with the visa, nigga with that Lisa. Talking about that Lisa, nigga with that Lisa, nigga with that Lisa. Your eyes speak the truth with everything else lies. They pretend that we can, but the vibes don't.
So moving on to the NBA, Dwight.
The what?
The NBA.
It's Joel. Come on. I'm gonna say July. Close enough. It's August. What do you mean, NBA?
3 free agent moves happened while we were gone. Well, more than 3, but 3 big ones. Paul George went to Oklahoma City in a trade. Wasn't free agency, but because he's going to be a free agent, so that's why he got moved.
Okay.
The Cavaliers claimed there was a better offer on the table from them. The Celtics. Excuse me. The Celtics also claimed that they had a better offer on the table for Paul George.
Huh.
But the Pacers did not want to keep him in the East, apparently. So they sent him out west to Oklahoma City. They got Oladipo back.
Time out.
I know he loves Oladipo.
Shout out to me for saying
Yeah, you're always on Oladipo.
Shout out to me because what did I say?
Third year in his career, third team he plays for now.
Did I not say he was overrated?
I like Oladipo, but
Overrated? Overrated. Is he?
I don't know if he's overrated or not. I think that
Now he's not rated at all. So
I think that anytime you trade a superstar in the sense of trading Paul George, you will never get enough in return back. I think that's why the Knicks will not trade Melo. We'll get to Kyrie Irving. Do you think they'll get enough back in return for Kyrie Irving? Did Jimmy Butler get enough? Did the Bulls get enough back in return for Jimmy Butler?
they got more than what they got for all of them.
I don't disagree with that, but I'm saying, did they get enough back in return for Jimmy Butler? Were they not getting kind of made fun? They were getting made fun of, yes? I mean,
yes.
And that's my point. So anytime you trade a superstar,
you
get less in return than you're giving away every time. So no matter what they did in that situation, I'm not against anything you're saying. I'm not.
I haven't said a word, so I don't.
Well, you were making fun of Oladipo.
Because he's a joke, number one. Number two, going back to the Bulls, did they get enough? Maybe not. I would lean towards them not, but they got assets. They got Zach LaVine. They got whatever.
No, I'm not against
other
it.
pieces. They got more than what.
They also gave away 2 draft picks.
They also got more than what these dudes got for.
I don't disagree. Do you think that the Celtics would have gave away Isaiah Thomas for Paul George?
That's dumb. Why?
I'm asking. What do you think the deal was that they thought was better? Jaylen Brown then?
Sure. Other than Isaiah Thomas, I feel like everything should have been on the table at that point. The picks,
Jaylen Brown, Avery Bradley.
Yeah, definitely. All of that should have been on the table. Joe
Al Horford.
Crowder. Yeah, all of that. Outside of Isaiah Thomas, I think you trade everything if you're the Boston Celtics.
Do you think the Cavaliers had Kyrie up on the table?
They need to, yes.
Did you think they did for Paul George at the time? The rumor is they definitely had Kevin Love up on the table.
I could see that. Kyrie...
Do you think Kevin Love going to the
not so
Pacers
much.
would have been
Okay.
enough in return?
Yes, definitely. Well, definitely. Well, for Kevin Love, absolutely.
Somebody
For
to run
Kyrie...
around.
For Kyrie, yes. For Kyrie, I would say no. You don't do that. No.
If you're the Cavs.
Right. No, I don't think you do that. No.
I agree.
You should... You already have LeBron.
Kevin Love, J.R. Smith?
Who was J.R. Smith?
I'm just asking. Kevin Love, Iman Shumpert?
It's all looking better for from the Cavaliers' perspective if you're just throwing everything but Kyrie and LeBron out there, then then you should definitely go with that. But you don't put Kyrie in that situation, no. One, I don't think it works. Two, Kyrie for real.
Speaking of the Celtics, going back to free agency,
No.
Gordon Hayward signed with the Celtics and then didn't sign with the Celtics and then wrote a letter to the Utah fans and then signed with the Celtics.
Oh. Shout out to the
How come LeBron James can leave and get absolutely demolished every time he leaves two different cities, but Gordon Hayward can leave Utah and it's okay? I have a problem with Gordon Hayward. No, I'm joking. Look,
I want to say that
he's
reach
gonna be
is strong. Does your shoulder hurt from that reach?
You don't.
That has to hurt so badly.
You don't think
that reach?
You don't think it's kind of funny that was mishandled as bad as it was in the day and a half as it was?
No. Was it mishandled? Yes. Is it the level that you're trying to take it to? No.
I think it's funny that LeBron
Was it mishandled?
can't do anything without getting destroyed.
Stop. Mr. LeBron apologist.
I think it's
captain
funny.
right here. Number one. LeBron,
you see where I'm coming from, though, right?
No, because LeBron did that on his own. Number two, this was not Gordon Hayward's situation. This was a situation where the media found out the news and they reported it, and then they were like, wait, we didn't actually announce this yet. That has nothing to do with Gordon Hayward. Do not compare the two. Stop being a LeBron apologist.
I hear you, MJ.
I'm just saying.
I hear you, MJ.
As you should.
All right,
Kobe.
So, Gordon Hayward, does he make the Celtics Does he give them that step that they're looking for? To go above the Cleveland Cavaliers?
To go above?
Yeah. Because that's ultimately you got to be your goal. I mean, you got the number 1 seed, which is the Cavs.
It's about as close as it's going to get.
Right. Do you think that it helps them in the sense of that they make that step?
Definitely.
Do they make the step? Do they beat the Cavs?
Yeah.
You think they will?
Well, one, because of my heater.
We also don't know where the Cavs are going to be as of a franchise day one of the season.
That was going to be my second point. Boston already took them to task. So, I mean, they were already the number 1 seed. Well, if LeBron would have done this, he would have done that, they would have been the number 1 seed, but they weren't.
No, I don't think it matters if they're the number 1 seed.
If both teams try right now today, I would say Boston. With Cleveland being right there, I'm not saying it's a blowout situation, but I would say it's neck and neck as far as the seeding is concerned. I would take Boston on paper, especially when Gordon Hayward. Get me?
Speaking of Boston, the old point guard of the Celtics who helped them win championships, Rajon Rondo.
Who he play for?
He got signed to the Pelicans.
Oh.
Who already have Drew Holiday. Who in their right mind thought Boogie Cousins and Rajon Rondo would be a good idea together? Oh, and they also have Anthony Davis. Very good players on the court. They're going to be fun to watch. Do you think Rondo and Boogie Cousins can be in the same city?
Yes. And who called that?
I mean, we listed a couple teams. I'm pretty sure the Pelicans were definitely on that list.
I'm 99% sure. I tried looking for the clip. I couldn't find it. Trust me, I looked for it.
Yeah, we talked about it.
The Pelicans were the top
two teams
that we listed for Rondo because of their situation.
Yes.
I'm just saying, you heard it here 1,000% first. I'm not surprised by it. I like it. It's exactly what that team needed.
I just think him and Boogie Cousins is a little rough together because they're both little troublemakers. I like them both, though. You know I like them both, so I'm excited for it. I like Anthony Davis a lot. I like Drew Holiday a lot. The rest of the team, we'll see how that works out for them. Because the rest of the team is literally a bunch of role players now.
That's all you need.
But
2 stars.
You're going to see how they got 4 guys who could potentially be stars, but they have 2 legitimate stars in the NBA.
Got 2 legitimate stars, a great role player.
The NBA's also played outside. The 3-point line, not inside.
That's overplayed to me because they haven't gotten 2 solid big men that can drop down in the post that can dominate in years. That's why. But when you got first of all, Anthony Davis spreads the floor. Let's not even kid ourselves. So that goes against your point.
I agree.
So that spreads out a little bit.
He
Boogie's down low, but it
Rondo
is what it
can't
is.
hit the 3 though.
So So they need a playmaker, which is exactly what we said
Yes.
New Orleans needed,
Oh, I agree.
which is why that's a perfect fit, and I like New Orleans. Just on those three alone, I don't care who the hell else is on that team.
What I really thought would have been fun to watch, and I don't think New Orleans has the assets to do it, but I was trying to think of teams creatively that Melo could go to, and I thought New Orleans would be a fun team if they could creatively get that to go to. I just don't know what they give away and who they give it away to and what the Knicks get back in return.
A whole lot of nothing.
You would have to get other teams involved, obviously. That's not going to happen, though.
Melo.
Speaking of Melo,
that's a running joke right now. Melo.
him getting traded for Kyrie will never happen, so those rumors need to go away forever.
First of all, it would never work. But
I agree. He can't run the floor with LeBron. He can't play defense.
Yeah.
And I love Melo.
No. Negative. Zero defense. Who's controlling the ball then?
Houston was a liable option. I thought that would have been a good idea. Them three together would have been fun. Him, James Harden, and Chris Paul would have been fun. Does Melo just wait his contract out and go wherever LeBron goes next year?
He's definitely waiting his contract out, whether or not he goes with LeBron.
He'll get a lot of money to wait his contract out, or he'll get a lot of money to get bought out by the Knicks after the season. Either way,
Definitely. I mean, he's going to wait it out.
I love Melo. I was getting really excited when there was talks of him getting away from the Knicks because when he's not a Knick, I can root for him, but while he's a Knick, I can't do it. And it sucks because I'm a Sixers fan, but it's how it goes. I was a big fan of him in Denver. I'm a huge fan of Carmelo Anthony. It sucks that he is still a Knick. I wanted to ask you,
What's up?
who do you think? You're a Lakers fan. I'm a Sixers fan, and we both. I know I don't like the Knicks. I don't know how you feel about the Knicks, but we both have had the conversation of they're the most overrated franchise in our lifetime.
That's factual.
In all of sports.
Facts.
Who wins a championship first, Lakers, Sixers, or the Knicks?
Is that rhetorical?
You think the Lakers?
I don't even have to look at today's roster to say that's rhetorical.
I think
history
would obviously say the Lakers. I think the Lakers and Sixers obviously are both on the right path. The Knicks,
Sixers are on the right path because the future, quote unquote.
I think that you are going to be surprised.
Are the Sixers a better quote unquote future than the Knicks?
Well, yeah, but I think that doesn't take a whole lot to be a better future than the Knicks because the Knicks right now are stuck in La La Land with Carmelo Anthony.
Which is why I'm saying this conversation saying that the Sixers will be second to the Lakers is shocking, quote unquote. It's not. They would clearly be second to the Lakers. Lakers is, to me, history just repeats itself.
Right, I agree. And history would say the Lakers are obviously always in rotation and win one every 10 to 15 years. Win 2 or 3 every 10 to 15 years.
Which would put Lakers number 1, Sixers number 2.
Right, because they've won a lot more recently, but the latest they've won is 86.
It's still not convincing from
but
a
I
Sixers
still think with the
perspective.
roster the Sixers have, the potential of winning it sooner than the Lakers is there, but you're right, history would say the Lakers would be the team. Now, do you think, moving on from that conversation, because I know how you feel about the Sixers, and we'll unfortunately have to get into that conversation at some point. Do you think the Knicks will win a title in our lifetime?
In my lifetime?
Yes.
No.
I don't disagree.
No.
The way James Dolan runs that
Zero.
team, I can't see a way of them ever getting it on the right path unless they get a new owner or somebody takes control of operations away from James Dolan and lets him still be the owner.
I don't think the 76ers will win a championship in my lifetime. But would I give them an edge to the Knicks?
Yeah.
Possibly. That's slight possibly. If you're telling me you have to make a choice, I'd probably pick the Sixers over that. But I'm not convinced either one of them will win a championship in my lifetime. The 76ers went to a finals one time in my lifetime.
Yes.
And that was by default. So,
Yeah, they were drugged there by a really crazy circumstances by Iverson. That's it.
Right, and the Knicks in the late 90s had a much better roster than the 76ers, and they still could have get it done.
Right.
So I mean, the Knicks definitely not. 76ers maybe.
If you would have said
they might.
If you would have said that Cleveland would have won a championship sometime after LeBron left the first time, we would have never thought that would happen. And look at them. So I guess there's always a possibility. But
I'm gonna let that LeBron conversation go.
Speaking of the Cavs, though, really fast.
I'm gonna let that LeBron conversation go because he deserves to get destroyed in that situation. But I'm gonna let that slide. We're in the first couple hour and some change in this third season, and I'm not really trying to destroy LeBron James right now. But it'll come. Trust me.
They got a new GM.
Great.
His name's Kobe.
That's the reaction you got out of me.
They signed Derrick Rose. They signed Derrick Rose for pretty cheap.
Is that playmaker LeBron wanted so badly?
Maybe. But what happens with the biggest...
This man just said maybe like it was an actual conversation.
Didn't he make J.R. Smith kind of liable for a year?
This man just said that was an actual thing. Okay.
What are the legitimate options the Cleveland Cavaliers have with Kyrie Irving?
I don't know.
Because you're never going to get enough in return to trade him, right? Is there a team that you can legitimately think of right now that you could trade him to, that you're getting enough in return that sets you up for your run for that 1 year while LeBron's still there? Because that's what you have to do if you trade Kyrie Irving, right?
Yeah, you definitely have to do that. What's on the table? I don't know.
But I legitimately sat down
I straight up, I all but tweeted Magic Johnson saying, give Alonzo then. What else do you trade for in that situation?
So you would trade Lonzo for Kyrie right now?
1,000,000% yes. Are you kidding me? He's really thinking about this right now.
Oh no! On the sense of if you're asking me to redraft the entire NBA right now,
I'm not asking you to redraft right now. I'm asking you,
Lonzo.
Would you trade right now, straight up, Kyrie for Lonzo? That's ridiculous. I'm trading Lonzo Ball all day, every day. We're talking about hype. This is that bullshit I be talking about with this NBA. Oh, hype. Lonzo Ball is hype. Kyrie Irving is a proving star. He's a proven commodity.
What was Kyrie Irving before LeBron James?
A lot more than Lonzo Ball is today.
Was he? He was
Stop playing yourself.
He was on the worst
Okay.
franchise in the history of the three-run
Lonzo Ball
stretch
played.
in the NBA.
What did Lonzo Ball do last year?
I'm not disagreeing, but he
Okay.
never won without
Yeah,
LeBron
yeah.
James, did he?
Lonzo Ball never did anything.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with that.
But then,
So you're not taking a risk with Kyrie? You're not taking any risk with Kyrie?
Zero. If you're the Lakers,
You think
zero.
I just haven't
It's the dumbest
seen...
thing in my world. You haven't seen Lonzo Ball in the NBA either.
I haven't seen Kyrie do it by himself either.
This guy.
Have you?
Oh my God. That's a joke.
I like Kyrie Irving. I'm not saying I would.
I like
I'm
Kyrie.
saying I would have to sit down and think
Would
about
you
it.
or would
I
you
like
not
my
do
options.
it?
I like what
Yes or
I
no?
like what Lonzo Ball brings
Yes
to the table.
or no?
It depends on how you're going with your franchise because you have such a young franchise.
Stop.
Kyrie
Yes
Irving.
or no?
I'd probably do it. Yeah.
Then shut up. God.
I honestly just don't.
The end.
think
I'm just saying.
that
Go ahead.
Kyrie
Keep talking. Go ahead. Keep talking. He just said I would. The end. This guy.
Could be the centerpiece
Okay.
of a championship team. Do
Did
you?
I said he was? Did I? Shut up.
I think that Lonzo
Okay.
is a better.
Oh my
okay.
God. Nope.
All right. Well, you don't have to hear me out, but I'd like the
I
listeners.
don't.
All right, that's fine. I would like the listeners to hear me out. Here's how I would look at it: Lonzo Ball passes the ball, and he doesn't shoot as much as Kyrie. If you want, what Kyrie does is he possesses the ball a whole lot. It's more like an Iverson offense, where that's not necessarily always going to work. And as much as I like Allen Iverson, he decided that towards the end of his career, passing was the better option, and Kyrie's just not there yet. Right now, you have Lonzo who's going to make the rest of his teammates better, where Kyrie's going to stop him.
Allegedly, just like Ricky Rubio.
And it's not. It's very possible that Alonso doesn't end up being anything. I don't disagree, but I just don't know if I want a point guard that comes down and just takes a lot of shots and sometimes stops the offense, the rhythm of the offense. If you could get
I like Russell Westbrook.
Kyrie,
He don't.
right? And I love Allen Iverson, but I watched it just not work. It's not that I don't love watching these guys play. They are incredible to play. They are so fun to watch around the rim, especially for their size. They are fun. They are 2017 version of Allen Iverson's. They are amazing to watch. They are so fun for me to watch. It's just it's not winning basketball right now. And I'm not saying Lonzo is winning basketball. He's never suited up. He's never suited up in an NBA game. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
He just said, hey, take Kyrie. But keep making your excuse. That's cool.
I was giving you the other side of it. So
You need to give me the other side. Are you finished or are you through?
If
Would
Lonzo's-
you
if
not
Lonzo-
take Lonzo Ball over Kyrie?
no, if Lonzo Ball
The end.
wins a
Let
championship.
me give
with
you
the
an
Lakers.
argument that I don't agree with.
Are you still going to be really mad at Lonzo if they win a championship? If he wins a championship with the Lakers?
That's ridiculous. I don't have to root for Lonzo Ball to root for my team. It's the same thing with Dwight Howard.
I know.
I don't.
You
I don't give a.
stand and I think he's going to be.
I don't
a
care.
very special player.
Stop, because you're making this me versus Lonzo Ball. I don't give a shit about Lonzo Ball. He's proven nothing to me. I don't give a crap about him. It's his hype train, which is ridiculous. Number one, to his father. I have no qualms about. I don't give a shit. Stop it. I don't give a shit about Lonzo Ball. He's proven nothing to me. He's been a subtle hater, quote unquote. What did Cat Williams used to call it? Silent hater. Lonzo Ball's a silent hater, and you could say, well, he doesn't say anything. Yes, he does. He's very subliminal. Is he as vocal as his father? No. But I root against him because of his father. I don't like his father. Is he on my team? Do I root for my team? Yes. It's the same thing with Dwight Howard, which I was proven right against, just like I was proven right against Johnny Manziel. I'm about to be 3 for 3. I'm just saying.
Speaking of hate,
and when
hate,
yes, I do hate. And when I'm proving 3 for 3 with Lonzo Ball, I expect you to say you're right, 3 for 3, strike out.
I'm not disagreeing. That's a possibility.
Just saying.
Kobe wasn't put on the top 50 list of black athletes of all time.
I don't want to talk about Kobe. Lonzo, for the record, I'm not rooting against Lonzo Ball. I hope he does well. I hope he does well for him and for the Lakers.
I hope he does well for him.
But I'm being as skeptical as I should be. I'm not about this whole put these rookies on pedestal, 76ers, there's a dream out here, let's wish upon a star shit. No, I'm about reality, produce, and I'll give you the credit when you earn it. He has not earned it. I'm just saying.
Speaking of people who earned it, Kobe Bryant was not put on the top 50 African American athletes.
Who made that dumbass list?
I don't know. You sent me the information about it, and I unfortunately never ended up looking it up. But
the ironic thing is, Colin Kaepernick was ahead of him.
That don't make no sense. I mean, Colin Kaepernick deserves to be on the list because most influential, but Kobe also is an influential black athlete.
Wait a minute. So, you know who else was on that list?
Ali, Jim Brown.
I put them up there.
Jackie Robinson.
Absolutely. Jordan,
definitely.
Absolutely. Yes. You know who was in 45 through 50?
Oh.
Which I like him as a player. I respect him. I have nothing against him. He might be a Hall of Famer. I don't know. Larry Fitzgerald. Kobe Bryant's not ahead of...
Oh, no, that's without question. Kobe Bryant's ahead of Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh.
That's not a debate.
Oh. But Larry Fitzgerald made this list with Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bean. Kobe, Mr. Everybody wants to disrespect my name 2-3 months after my retirement. Bryant,
He's a top 10 player of all time, top 15 player of all time at minimum, and you can't
Mr. 5 rings, Bryant.
You can't put him in the top 50 African American. I just don't understand that.
I'm sorry, who has more rings, Kobe or LeBron?
Kobe.
Kobe Bryant is one of the 50 most greatest.
Was LeBron on the list? I assume.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know.
Probably.
I would assume.
Probably.
But if he makes it, Kobe doesn't.
I agree. Kobe should make it.
But Larry Fitzgerald. No, I'm not disrespecting Larry Fitzgerald.
And we both like Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald has done a lot for the African American community. He does a lot for the community in general, actually.
So outside of Larry Fitzgerald, outside of what 3, 4, 5 names did you name? Outside of
you can't name 50 athletes before you get to Kobe Bryant, best black African American athletes. You just can't. You can't.
It's a disgrace. I think it's a joke. And what I said before, which is the amount of disrespect that Kobe Bryant has gotten since his retirement, post-retirement, within the 3-month time frame, has been a joke to me. People are acting like Kobe hasn't been who Kobe Bryant has been for the past
I'm a Kobe Bean guy.
10, 15 years. No, his disrespect, that's a whole nother conversation. The disrespect towards Kobe Bryant post-retirement has been ridiculous. I'm just saying. That's not just as a Lakers fan or a Kobe fan.
Right.
Like, come on, man.
His time will come back around when he goes in the Hall of Fame, just like Iverson's did. I got to watch Iverson. We relived all those memories. We will relive all the Kobe memories because there is 100 more.
So who goes on Hall of Fame first, T.O. or Kobe?
Kobe. No, I mean, look, man, it's going to be hard for T.O. next year. You see the list next year?
They just disrespecting T.O.
A lot of men
I've
are up for it
seen
next
it.
year.
Yeah, I've seen it.
We'll get to that at a different time. Moving on, the jerseys in the NBA. They now have, like, the Cavs have a Goodyear logo on their jersey. The Sixers have a StubHub logo on their jersey. Though I do like the Sixers' new layout of their jersey. It's not too much different, but it's a little different. I haven't seen other than them the Cavs. I wasn't a big fan of the Cavs, but I'm not against it, I guess. The logo... The advertisement, the StubHub and the Goodyear and whoever else. The advertisement, not that big of a deal because I watch soccer, and across the chest of soccer players is a huge advertisement. It's going to be the way of sports. It's going to be the way of... The NFL eventually will have patches of advertisements on their jerseys, I assume. Hockey will eventually have it. I honestly do believe that every sport, just like every other... Look, have you ever seen a European basketball jersey?
Yes.
Advertisements everywhere on the and the hockey jerseys are the same way. The basketball jerseys, the soccer, and the football. The Canadian football has advertisements on it. That's the way of the world. It's about the dollar. The NFL will make so much money doing it one day. They will do it one day. Everyone's going to do this one day in America. It's just the NBA is starting the trend first. You know who is making guaranteed money? The NBA players. You know how that's happening? Ideas like this. You know how the NFL stops a lot of their problems? Guaranteed money. That's a whole different topic for a different day. But like honestly, it is, and I know it's harder for us as consumers. But eventually, 10 years from now, we're gonna laugh like, oh, we used to think it was gonna be a weird problem that there was advertisements on the jerseys. I honestly believe that. We'll see. But
I mean, look here. Look.
Eventually, you're just not going to see them anymore, right? I mean, that's just how it goes. You don't even really...
That would be human nature. I mean,
right.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially the teams that never change. You know, if the Cavs are good, have that Goodyear logo on their chest for 25 more years. In 5 years, we're not even going to notice it anymore. Yeah. But I understand what you're saying.
I didn't say anything.
Because I know where you're going to go. This is where everyone goes with me on this conversation.
The marketing
I've been talking
thing,
about this for years.
Dude, the marketing thing, it doesn't necessarily bother me. Is it weird? Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. If that's the direction it's going, then cool. I don't want to see a soccer situation. I don't want to see
where it's the big logo.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I understand that.
9, 12
The European basketball ones have like 10. The baseball ones have 3 or 4.
No, damn that.
Hockey have like 5 or 6.
Damn that. That's ridiculous. If I get 2, 3, 4, I don't know. I'm not putting a cap on it. I know what you mean. Give me a couple.
I don't think the NFL will have any more than like a patch. You know what I mean?
Which is what the NBA is doing right now.
Right.
If I could just get a patch that is not overbearing, it's not overpowering the authenticity of the jersey itself, then I'm cool with that. The NBA with the little patch, it's cool.
The minor league NHL teams already have patches on there of, you know, Pepsi or a sponsor of some kind.
I get it.
Our local Horseshoe Bears have Pepsi.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's more money, so I don't fault the teams for doing this. But I just don't want to see soccer jerseys. I don't want to see. I just don't want to see a bunch of locals everywhere. What I like about more so about the NBA jersey situation, it's not so much the sponsorship thing. It's more so the Nike thing. Have you seen these jerseys that are coming up?
Revolutionary of some kind. No home jerseys anymore. No way. You're allowed to wear your dark jersey. You're going to have a third jersey. The NFL, Nike, have you seen what they've done with the NFL jerseys? They're making a third jersey for every team. I haven't seen the Cowboys helmet, but the Eagles helmet is gray. For the third jersey. And it's a green face mask. It actually looks pretty cool, the helmet.
That sounds dumb.
It looks actually pretty
cool. What part of gray is in your jersey?
In the helmet, there's in the bird itself, there's a gray piece, and that's what they use. And actually, though, I'm excited to see the jersey because I hope it's like black, or I hope it's like...
That sounds disgusting. I'm not even just hating because I'm a Cowboys fan. That just sounds ridiculous.
I do think it's cool that the NFL, the NBA is going to go the NFL way, where you can wear either jersey, your white or your dark jersey, if you want, whatever night you want. I'm cool with that, man. The NBA I think it's cool that they're doing that.
Okay, I don't like the fact that the NBA is just saying no away, no home. I don't necessarily like that.
Everyone's going to wear all of them, right?
Well, apparently, yes, but I just don't necessarily like that aspect of it. I think it's weird.
Okay.
But I do like, shout out to the teams and the organizations in general, especially the original and the ones with legacies, and you see the jersey and that's their jersey, like the Lakers, the Celtics, I'm drawing a blank, maybe the Sixers, depending what logo they go with. But when teams stick with what works for them, shout outs to those teams that are sticking with their bases.
Yeah.
these other teams out here that are just changing up their whole format, I just don't like it. I don't like it. I like tradition. I like things to stay the way they are. And I like that, say, the Sixers or not the Sixers, the Celtics or the Lakers are sticking to the original concepts of their jerseys, whereas they're just adapting to the situation.
The Mavs are probably going to have a new jersey. The Blazers might have a new jersey. It's like
and
the
they do.
Clippers can have crazy new jerseys.
But like the Lakers or the Celtics are just keeping their shit and just adding on what is going forward, which is what I would prefer. And you know what? Shout out to those Sixers because they are going back to their old logo,
jerseys. Oh, yes,
and they're going back to their old
they added
jerseys.
All they did add with the Sixers is behind like when it says Sixers in white on the blue jerseys or it says Sixers in blue on the white jerseys, it's just red asterisks behind the back, and it looks really cool.
And I do like that.
I like it. It looks neat.
I've seen maybe a quarter of the jerseys that are coming out, and a lot of them look good. So I can't hate on it
Nike
per se,
does a good
but
job.
Yeah, I won't fault that.
Last topic
shout to Nike.
To the NBA because we're running at least on an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at this point of the show. Doc Rivers, they took away his GM role. So now he's just going to be the coach. I don't know how it's going to work moving forward for the Clippers, but I do know that they do need to go in a different direction with players. They also might build a stadium in a different part of LA, which I know you would be happy about. Or you like you're going to like my next proposal. You're going to like my next proposal even better. Are you ready?
I see you, Clipperland. I see you, Lob City.
Their owner.
I see you, all you Clippers fans out here.
Their owner.
I see you on my Facebook. I see you. Oh wait.
Steve Ballmer.
Where'd you go?
The owner, Steve Ballmer.
I'm sorry. I'm looking for Clippers fans right now on my Facebook.
He owned part of Microsoft for a while.
Bill Gates. I don't.
You know where Microsoft is based?
I'm sorry. I'm looking for Clippers fans.
Microsoft is based in Seattle. You know who would like a basketball team? Seattle. So maybe possibly he'll move them to Seattle instead of moving them to a new arena. The Warriors are going to a different arena, and the Whites still can't find Clippers fans.
I'm looking so hard. I got my binoculars.
You know, while you're looking in LA, you know who else you can find fans of? The Los Angeles Dodgers.
I don't even need my binoculars. I see you walking right there, bro.
The Los Angeles Dodgers went
shout to you.
43-7 in a 50-game stretch. Actually, as of my latest, I think it's 44-6. If I'm not mistaken, it's the best 50-run stretch in my lifetime. It's the best 50-run stretch since 1912. 50-game stretch since 1912.
1912. Who keeps those numbers?
They traded for Yu Darvish, which is a big deal. He's a really good pitcher. The Yankees traded for Sonny Gray, which is a big deal. He's a good pitcher, but the Yankees are more gearing up for 2 years from, or not this year, but from next year. The Boston Red Sox took the lead in that division. We were going to talk so much more baseball at some point, but we need to keep it moving through the show. So that, my last little tidbit on baseball, the Marlins owner, who is right up there with Dolan? Is it Jeff Dolan? Whatever Dolan's name is. Dolan of the Knicks. Jeffrey Loria, not to be mistaken with Jeffrey Loria, the owner of the Eagles. Jeffrey Loria, the owner of the Marlins. The owner of the Marlins. Not only did he sue some season ticket holders.
Wait, pineapples. What and why?
Okay, so when they first opened the new Marlins Park, there was a couple. When they opened the new Marlins Park about 3 years ago, there was a couple incentives added in on if you buy season tickets. So they bought the season tickets, things like buffets after every game, valet parking, special parking spots, a couple things. As the year went on, into the second and third year, the valet kind of disappeared. The special parking wasn't as special anymore, and the buffet after the games was the same dish over and over, and it wasn't anything special. So what the fans started doing is they stopped paying for the season tickets and stopped showing up. But they signed a contract for X amount of years, and so when he sued them, their comeback was that he didn't do all this stuff. Now, it's going to obviously still be in court because it just happened, because it happened while we were on break. Now, also, the day he decided to do this was the day of the home run derby, which was held in Marlins Park. So when baseball was supposed to be surrounded by Miami and celebrating baseball, instead he decided to sue season ticket holders. This is the Marlins. This is why they have no attendance. And baseball turned out really well for 2 days there, and then it went back to being absolutely nothing because the Phillies had the pleasure of being the first team in Miami after the All-Star break, and nobody was at any of those games.
Well, it's the Phillies, so I mean... Yeah.
But on top of nobody goes to the Marlins games when they play a good team, so then they play the Phillies, who were the worst team in baseball at that time.
They said, we don't even want these cheap seats.
It was bad. It was so bad how many people were not in that stadium. Shout out to him for trying to be the worst owner in sports. He's also trying to sell the team. Apparently, Derek Jeter is involved with people who might buy it, which would be pretty cool. Speaking of weird people, not weird, but weird situations of people buying a sports team, Beyonce might be in a ownership group with a couple people to buy the Houston Rockets, her home.
I saw that and I just shrugged it off.
Moving on.
That's just going to be another Jay-Z situation.
A quick fast...
Yeah! You got rid of him in 2 years.
Quick fast random story.
That's not a story to me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know you're all about Queen, quote,
I love Queen Bee. Queen Bee!
But that's not a story to me.
We're going to talk about...
Come on, time out. Don't gloss over the whole Beyonce thing. Because I know you want to talk about it. Do you honestly believe, if Jay-Z says, I'm out, do you honestly think she's going to be in it any longer than Jay-Z? No, I didn't think so. Okay.
She's not... Well,
she's not going to be in it any longer than he was.
No, I don't disagree with that. We'll see. It depends on the other ownership groups, I guess. He went in with a Russian guy, and he built a stadium for the Russian guy, and then he got his money back and and he got bought out.
Yes or no?
I think Beyonce stays in it a little longer, but I don't think she's as involved as Jay-Z was. Let me put it to you that way. Jay-Z had to get out of it for Roc Nation Sports as well, because he wanted to start an agency group, and he couldn't start an agency group while he was doing it. She's not involved in an agency group, so it's...
It was a yes or no question.
I think she's in it longer.
Okay.
Moving on. Weird stories. We're going to get into the early rankings of college football, not this episode, but here coming up. College football had some weird stories while we were gone. One of them had to deal with some coaches and some prostitutions and some phone calls and some, we're not going to get into that because, it's the most corrupt football. It's the most corrupt part of sports is college football.
I'm sorry, I'm on the phone. I'm trying to hear what these colleges are.
I got another beef with the NCAA.
The line's busy. I have to hang up.
Daniel Day-Hay, a 19-year-old who got on scholarship to be the UFS kicker of the University of South Florida kicker. He had a YouTube channel since the time he was a sophomore in high school. He was doing stuff like kicking the ball through the uprights and doing a backflip while he was kicking the ball through moving cars, making money, a little money off YouTube, enough money, a couple thousands a week, like a little more money than some chump change, but nothing, where he's going to go retire off it by the time he's 25.
And YouTube money, he was making nothing.
I
said he was making like $3 a month.
So...
He's
making enough to live off of it, apparently. I don't know. I'm not involved in his life like that. Here's my thing.
Okay.
The NCAA came down with a ruling that said that his scholarship could not be granted because he was making this money from YouTube. So he either had to give up the YouTube channel or he could not play college football. He decided, because he was making money off this YouTube channel, to stop playing college football and continue to do this because he's passionate about it and he's making money. He also started a GoFundMe GoFundMe. Which, if you would like to help him out, you can go find that. It's to help him go back to college because he would still like to go to college and maybe he can't be a walk-on. I don't know how it's going to work. Anyways, point being, you can go work at McDonald's, Dwight, if you wanted to. Your parents could own the Triple Baller brand, BBB, and funnel as much millions of dollars into a bank account for you as they want. But if you make $3 a month or $2,000 a month on YouTube, not actually as a job, if you just profit off of it, the NCAA is not okay with it. I don't understand it. I'm not sure why you can go work at McDonald's but you can't do this. I'm not sure why your dad can give you millions of dollars and you can wear your dad's shoe, Jordan's son, or the BBB, the Big Baller brands. They can do that. I'm getting a little confused, and the NCAA is getting worse and worse and worse and worse at this. And this is just one more part of me not understanding. Look, they make so much money off of these players without these players ever getting anything out of it in the first place.
Facts.
This is him making money on his own. This is him starting
on YouTube.
What if he was a painter? Could he not sell his paintings for $25,000 and still go be the quarterback at Ole Miss? I have a problem with this. I don't follow the reasoning, and It is, like I said, just one more step in the most corrupt part
That's factual.
of American sports.
And for those of you who don't understand, I don't know the logistics of it, but YouTube, unless you're getting millions and millions
Right.
of views, you're really not making that much money in
Right.
ad revenue, especially in 2017
Right.
with the way that Google is set up with YouTube. You're really not getting that much money. If he's getting a couple thousand, shout out to him.
Good for
You're
him.
one
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
few.
Exactly.
But chances are he's
It's
not.
right.
But
Maybe a couple hundred.
even in comparison to what the NCAA is making, I mean, my man's on YouTube, and if let's say he is making $1,000, so he's making $1,000 making that on his free time doing his thing.
What if he made $1,000 working at McDonald's?
He doesn't have the team jersey on. He has no logo.
Yeah.
It's just him doing his thing as a talented athlete.
Lamar Jackson
Saying-
was just in an Adidas commercial, and he doesn't get paid for it because he's a college athlete. That doesn't make sense to me.
That's me. If I'm a college athlete and I can dunk the ball and I can 360 dunk it like Vince Carter and I got my arm in a hoop and I post it on YouTube, you're telling me I can't make money on that?
But they made money
With-
of selling Vince Carter posters of him in North Carolina jerseys dunking.
Right,
With
and-
his arm through the hoop.
Right, and I have no jersey on, I have no logo. It's just me in a black t-shirt and some jeans, and I just did 360 with my Vince Carter arm in the hoop, but I can't make money on that? That's
Shout out to Donald Day. Hey, man. I hope it works out for him. I'm sad. Makes me angry.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out
Never
to him.
down with the
That's
NCAA.
BS.
Last
No,
thing
no.
I wanted to bring up.
Fuck the NCAA.
Neymar is leaving Barcelona. I love Barcelona, the soccer team. Football Club Barcelona. He got offered $237 million to do
Excuse me, you want
to go to PSG, so it was more of a business move, even though he left, for my money, the best soccer player in the world right now, if not the second best.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You want to repeat that dollar figure one more again?
$237 million. PSG also had to pay Barcelona $268 million just to get him out of the contract. They paid another $100 million to La Liga. Yeah, they were upwards to almost $500 million between the three. Also, Neymar gets another, I think, $60 million just for, I think, something to do with his contract. So he's up to almost $300 million himself. They're up to paying almost $550 million for him overall. It's a business move for him. I don't know if he wanted to leave Barcelona, but I do know that if somebody offered anybody that much money, it would make sense for them to leave. He's not setting himself up. He's not setting his kids up. He's not setting his grandkids up. He's setting their kids up with that contract. So, I mean, shout out to him for that. I'm going to miss him as a Barcelona fan because, he was so fun to watch with Messi. Yeah, I'm not even mad at him. I wish he was there. I do. I wish he stayed. I hope that they can figure it out. They always figure it out. They are a very good and rich team. They always get somebody around Messi, and at the end of the day, you still got Leo Messi. Moving on.
The GOAT.
In my estimation, at his best, he's probably in my lifetime the best soccer player.
Easily, it's not even a conversation.
Last thing I want to shout out.
Who that?
Shout out to Dutch Dalton, Darren Dalton. He passed away at the age of 55 of brain cancer. He was the anchor of the 1993 Phillies, who is one of the most beloved teams in all of Philadelphia sports. They were an underdog who made the World Series. He was incredible. They partied a lot. They got into a lot of trouble. They did a lot of great things. He was a really big part of it. Also, shout out to Eric Parstegian. Only lost 11 games in his tenure at Notre Dame, won 3 national championships. It was helped basically build that legacy that I build everything off of. So shout out to both of them. Unfortunately, they passed away while we were off. But
yeah, definitely shout out to them.
On a lighter note, because I love them, everything shout out to them, but on a lighter note, JD Sports is back. JD Season 3, Episode 1 is right here. We have coming up, we have SummerSlam. We didn't get to even talk to any WWE. We will talk more baseball coming up. Football.
I feel like we just need a pick.
Football's on its way. Football's on its way. College and NFL.
I just feel like
Deep breath, JD Sports back.
We just need.
The world needed that.
I feel like
this is like two plus hours, I think, going on right here of this JD Sports. So they needed that. They hopefully got their fill for a week.
For the summer, damn.
It's been a while.
Like you said, I mean, we just had this
baseball?
huge recap, and we got SummerSlam coming up next week.
We still got to talk baseball.
We got baseball coming up?
Yep. Las Vegas got a hockey team, and hockey's not too far out. Basketball's coming back around here in about 2 months. Football starts in a month.
Is there a fight in like 2 weeks?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. So Vince McMahon staged this fight between an MMA fighter and a boxer. Oh, I'm joking. But Mayweather McGregor does seem fairly staged to us.
Brock Lesnar?
John Jones. He won. We didn't even talk about that. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, we have a lot to get into at some point.
Woo!
How about...
To be JD Sports, you gotta be JD Sports.
How about the fight a month after the Mayweather-McGregor fight? Triple G, Canelo. We're definitely going to be talking about that one. We got a lot going on.
Oh, don't get me started.
Like you said, SummerSlam also
next
coming
week.
up. It's gonna be fun. We have so much to dig into. This has been. I'm glad we're back to White. If you haven't noticed, to the old viewers, we are back on an old set at the moment. We'll see if that stays the same way. We do like this set. We like every set we've had so far. And to the new viewers, thank you for watching. This is going to be a big year. It's going to be a big year for both of us.
Huge.
Shout out to the best producer and co-host in the game, JD Sports, man. Thank you for watching.
We out here. Peace.